Abuja, about 4 years ago, 2020, one guy by the name Mohammed Mustafa, bebrena named as Real Malopia, Osiwa Accra Ridge Hospital for 5 million Ghana cedis because he said, Near hospital, in 2019, and then I'm have a C-section. Said a baby on be trouble enough for the Moyakra, said a baby on be save life, and also the lady, And quite unfortunately, Abusia Akurani free and an year into free. So you can imagine the head and a chairman go through. And then we'll make sure say like everything is done correctly. In 2019, say they will be taking care of, whatever, the trauma, the everything. So the following year, he decided to sue Ridge Hospital because of their negligence. Because the man or you're seriously educated. He knows exactly what should have been done. And he made sure, say, the wife will be getting everything necessary to make sure, say, she stays alive. After paying for everything and doing all the things she can do, and even making sure that some of the nurses and doctors work on his wife, still there were serious negligence and they did normal basa, and the genius man buying free, and then we see you. In 2020, we see the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, which is Ridge, we see Ministry of Health and also the Attorney General. And about 2 days was saying ago, Abuja Basse, while winning the case, the 5 million and I was seeking for called to award 3 million Ghana cedis, which is a little bit of, at least some kind of compensation for the loss. The money can never replace the Walusuno. But at least that is to show them, say, if you go about treating anybody anyhow you want because any pan will hospital, sometimes there are consequences. And, a government institution, you can't really do much to them. But if there's some feeling the heat financially, at least they will make sure, say, it won't happen to the next person. Sometimes that's the reason why some people like, Remalopia, or sue a government organization like that. Because it's not going to say, oh, you're from Nyame na demo on one edge here, Yakupon and Nimni, Yeman, like that kind of stuff. Even though sometimes it's true, but just okay. This thing could have been prevented, and then they did nothing to prevent it. Sometimes you gotta sue. And in this case, Chama sue. Like I think one of the posts on Facebook back in the day, December 2022, on Facebook said, today is exactly 3 years I lost you, dear. Your journey was cut short, but I promise to complete that race for you. As breath runs through me, I won't fail you. You are gone, but not forgotten. And she made sure said that promise, she followed through. We are see be anywhere ya saw yere ho ofe na wa firim. And we lady na clearly abusia. Obi a ne ho afa ankasa. And obi aba wo so. You see sometimes I na man for case. So because of that intina man for no most can some of them try as much as possible to not give birth e Ghana. I understand there are some nurses and doctors who are Ghana they really seriously care about people, and then they will do anything and everything. Send a baby with delivery and a baby smooth and fine. And there are those who are sometimes the care nurse will put you in is not adequate. And sadly enough, when it happened to Remalopia wife, something like that can happen. And she knew where so we read to me for 9 months. No kwa waswa. We're free, my Quran we're free. It's very, very sad. Ghana Web article be about the backstory of how it happened back then. Let me read some few lines for you. Then at least we get that proper understanding of Neokoso. I say the pregnant woman had been receiving antenatal care at the Ridge Hospital since 2019. In November, a Doppler scan at the hospital revealed that she had severe intrauterine growth restriction. Hey. Dr. Thames Nebusia starting to munyan to say mami, my scientist Nebusia. An abnormal umbilical artery Doppler, a condition which pointed to placenta insufficiency. So, based on this, was our hospital Thames, Dr. Thames, Oko pharmacy you see how they write. In normal terms, they confusing, but I will try my best to let you understand how it is. Based on these findings, the report said an emergency cesarean section, which is C-section, was scheduled in December 2019 to save the lives of mother and baby. However, after the operation, Ekwe developed thromboembolism, which led to her death and that of the baby. which means after seeing an operation in the and a way happen. Sometimes it happens that way. I know a very good friend of mine. I think it's the same rich hospital no koye. Nemba amene koye. And then nemba amene an operation. Simple, surgery kokoye and chena amene frame. Because of, and sometimes people don't have money to sue. They don't have good lawyers or they don't have money to even hire. Because to get a good lawyer right now in Ghana for a serious case like this, you need to pay like 50,000 Ghana cedis. At least minimum. How many people in the scanner? If you want to get a seriously good lawyer, how many people? So sometimes they just leave it. Okay, I say. But this guy, he decided to take them on. And then, luckily for him, wait to me and say I'm winning the case, which is good. Now, here go the claims of negligence. So I say, in 2020, roughly a year after the death of his wife, Mustafa initiated legal action against the hospital, the Ministry of Health, and the Attorney General at Accra High Court. He claimed damages arising from the death of his wife to the tune of 5 million Ghana cedis. So that was the amount now no pay. For the seal now no seal. And then when you move 3 million. It's kind of fine, but today I'm the general jurisdiction 7 of the High Court in the case of Mohammed Mustafa v. Attorney General Ministry of Health blah 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 delivered judgment on July 31st, 2024, which means NRA. It upheld the claims of Mustafa but awarded more than half of the quantum of damages arising from negligent conduct of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital located at Ridge. His lawyers argued that the Ridge Hospital staff and management were negligent in their duties. They said the hospital standard care includes both a pre-operating and post-operative standard care, which includes prophylactic anticoagulant. Ay. Mame money bien prophylactic anticoagulant therapy. Yes, always I'm going to say free here. Which the hospital's management failed to adhere to prevent conditions like thromboembolism. Wow, an amateur science student. Although Mustafa purchased the necessary anticoagulant, it was not administered to his wife. Dimosi we saying a nipan after the, because Nyomo can has a black clot and I see like the blood flowing through the lady in the body and every day man in film. Mosi he has obeto bibi se be a bit me anane the black clot on name man konkos. And then he bought that. He made sure that everything I must say about woman and wife was still alive, he made sure he paid for it. And then after it all, still you guys couldn't keep, the wife not alive. Even though say at least but you couldn't, so it was your negligence. His legal team said although the hospital was aware of his wife's condition, they failed to take preventive measures. They pointed out that other methods such as the use of compression stockings and early mobilization should have been employed to prevent thromboembolism, a condition in which a blood clot, thrombus, breaks off from its original site and travels through the bloodstream. Also the death of the wife. They cited the failure of these preventive methods as leading to her death. The court upheld Mustafa's claim of negligence, stating that the hospital failed to provide adequate care to the deceased, emphasizing that their care fell below the standard procedure. So court is okay. Greater Accra Regional Hospital, the bare minimum to take care of that. And because of some adhere to the basic standard care, that's the reason why in Tia, why I can say Remalopia wife for free. And because of that, a hospital on the fault. And then they need to pay her. The court said there was a breach of the national health policy and Ghana's commitment to maternal healthcare mortality under the Sustainable Development Goal, which seeks to end preventable deaths of newborns and children under 5 years of age, with all countries aiming to reduce neonatal mortality to at least as low as 12 per 1,000 live births, and under 5 mortality to at least as low as 25 per 1,000 live births by the end of 2030. So there is a standard to everything. And then the standard, you see at least nipa 1,000, 1,000 a be warm, and yes at least se bibe free krana and yes a bro 12. And based on that standard, ni other tactics, and the indigenous who say okay, rage normal mu ye and because of that, Mustafa Romalopia, award on a chairman. As I'm not a buyer, who did him. So I was specifically Ridge Hospital. Just a very big, But always some of the weird stories when it comes to negligence, when it comes to that kind of normal, it happens with Opa. This is not the first time I'm buying the news. So many times they come, but again, enya manfobia ne be pese umbesiu. And enya manfobia ne woska krom betim dia kwa hire a good lawyer to argue their case for them. So at the end of the day, they will just forget about it, and then abusuafo will also come in. Onipa no ye den we free Nyankopon ne nim ne ye ma ne ma, Nyankopon ne mo no na eje we mfa manyame, jamane nka, that kind of sensem na. Now at the end of the day no justice gets served anywhere, which is bad. But at least in this case, a test case is if you're a hospital and you don't take care, that's all you will be wife basa, it may come back to haunt you ankasa. And in this case, at least they've also felt something. I wish them go Malopia and go man like 10 million, because that will shoot them ankasa. Yeah, even though this is a win for Real Malopia, it's still sad. Because the money can't fix anything. And then right now, man for who's when we say, people will be coming like a man for do mukanyina, they will be coming for their money. Which is also sad. But you ever share the near share home. But at least, we're getting some form of justice for the wife and the banner. That is good. So Remalopia, kind of congrats. And why not a whole lot of people could do that. Well, be a man for you. What should a man for say? If there is some serious wrongdoing, and you say you were in the right and you are in the right, fight for what is right and make sure you don't stop. But the promise man, and he made sure he followed through with that promise. Nice one. Tap send number 1 mobile app. I bet you send this car command off for Ghana. Right now the exchange rate is madness. Where UK £1 HM 19 cedis. Europe Abuja 17. USA, big numbers. What I say? Do you tap send that right now is the best time for you to download tap send. No one so Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Or download now using it for the first time. But code Magraheb shame. Abusia Magraheb. I can't become spelling me anything. But shame you bet you £5, €5, and now $10 for free for the first transaction I will hear at their coffee. What they send this car? Yentoka pre free and I'll send their instant in any pan in Saka. Bet me send their Tunipan bank account to him directly. Who are Netherlands, I bet me use ideal payments at their payment. Abusia, a beman on my simple cry amount. Until we send this kind of when you tap send there. Abusia, then what are you waiting for? Apple App Store and Google Play Store and downloading right now. Send a bay up joining the funnest, the biggest, the group one, or more care about a month or making transactions there for you. Can you say Jaga 4 bitters, Abusia, latest bitters in town, a month for a trebino. Omudi one dance here, Nubune woman, threaten wapum, a man no more feeling like okay, where you smooth. It sounds like boy with body no more, Jumana. Abusia, Jaga 4 Ragana, baby, a chaka crab. Ubenya be a trap. Ubenya be a trap, mechanism. Yeah, yes, we could do for a guy saying, baby, a tons and a visitor was you, me pay Jaga 4 near the amount which are now called. That you go pay. So definitely trash when you better home. Michael 20, a draw Benoma, which you fight against the idea viruses, a war body, and never seen a build the immune system. Let there be a wire fit and strong. Me say, what I know vehicle on a daily basis, yade, a two say no chum because what build the immune system, now I strong say, yade be a bar, a be fight against the idea, no heavily ankasa. Tiabuja, Uragana pharmacy shop be a benya vehicle 20 be out from Joy Industries, and you're that good. And the video, no, thanks for watching, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Till we meet again, Abusia. Adios.